very hard on the policymakers. Yeah. So now on a further simplification and adaptation on a national wide network. How do we, okay, we spoke about sugar mills with ethanol units. Okay, let's talk about sugar mills who doesn't have ethanol units. There are so many cooperative, usually most of the cooperatives doesn't have ethanol units, and even other smaller sugar factories, sugar mills doesn't have ethanol units. So what do they do? What solutions do we have got? So with our reactive pipeline technology, I mean to say the loop reactor technology, which was specifically done for fermentation of the molasses, fermentation of the sugar syrup, fermentation of the glucose solution derived out of the 2G process. The loop reactor is compatible for any type of glucose fermentation. So given that technology as an upper hand, we have formulated this reactive pipeline grid concept on a national level. Yeah, so a sugar factory without ethanol unit, they produce, they take the sugar cane, they crush it, they produce sugar, and they sell the sugar. In between, they produce this ethanol, which the molasses, which they are going to sell it outside market for a liquor industry and many other beverages and all that. Yeah. So if this technology is made use of with a minimal infrastructure that we have proposed, yeah, they can just pump in their molasses, and with the minimum infrastructure that and the technology that we have told, it's very minimal, and the entire thing, as you seen, the loops and they've spoken about kilometers of these pipelines, it runs in, and it can be a manifold and all that. Imagine you stretch those several kilometer long loops that was spoken in the first half of the day and put it underground. Yeah. So this molasses, which is entering this pipeline, has been backed up with the technology of loop reactor with the yeast. This can be converted into ethanol water while it is getting transported. And where does this end up? Since they don't have an ethanol unit, usually all this molasses anyway has, if at all we envisage to convert it to ethanol, then it has to be supplied to the nearest terminal or a depot of an oil manufacturing company like HPCL or BPCL. Yeah, they have very good established terminals or the oil depots. Yeah, and usually they, whatever the ethanol they buy, they blend it in those places, and they are very strategically located because fuel is a very big requirement of any nation, and the network of this storage and distribution have been very carefully planned, and this is already established over decades. So they are already strategically there, available, existing, right? So now any of these units can have a mega distillery units with huge distillation plants, because anyway oil manufacturing companies are known for refining oil, and distillation and fractionation distillation is nothing new for them. So all these pipelines of the nearby sugar factories around a terminal where they are blending, they can have a mega distillery unit, and these pipelines can end up there supplying the crude ethanol water, which is produced in these reactive pipelines directly to these distillation units. So these distillation units producing ethanol, fuel grade ethanol, can directly blend it to the petrol and oil companies, have it right at their doorstep. And to talk more about that, already oil companies have found that compared to roadways and railways, pipelines are the most cheapest method of transporting oil or gas from one place to other. So already they are transporting from the ports or from the refineries to nook and corner of our country. That's how we have been able to get oil, gas, for our domestic and commercial use. So the pipeline technology is definitely cheaper. Now we have found that this technology is, kind of, I can term this word that we produce while we transport. Here it is not only transportation of crude ethanol, we are also producing the crude ethanol while it is getting transported from the source to the destination. Yeah, if at all the sugar factory was producing ethanol, they are supposed to send a truck, a tanker, to get that ethanol to their blending unit where they blend it into the petrol and sell it. But here it comes in a pipeline, and the starting is not ethanol, but it is just molasses. So molasses is getting converted into crude ethanol, in this reactive pipeline. So while it is getting transported, the product is getting formed, and crude ethanol is distilled here, and fuel ethanol is produced out of that, and it is blended. So brilliant it looks, but definitely this is a mammoth Herculean task, and a company, big enterprises like ONGC or GAIL can take this up, so that they offload the burden from this, struggling sugar mills on off the shoulder of a huge investment for distillery units, so that these investments can be made by the oil companies. And then the pipelines, underground pipelines, are not very new for these oil companies, and nowadays even sewage lines or water lines are running. So all those things can be done at a national level. So that is what I was talking about. Interstate movement of ethanol has to be relaxed, because these pipelines can run across India, right? So I was talking, and here now it is usually found that now the average, please correct me if I'm wrong, it is noted that 2 rupees per kilometer is spent per liter of ethanol to be transported. Now you take an average of around 300 kilometers. Usually, maybe some places it's 100, or some places it is 500. So we'll take it as around 300 kilometers on an average. So if you look at the total savings, while we are doing it with these underground pipelines, we have made some working out. So around 250 to 300 or 350 crores is saved only on the transportation component. That's a huge saving for any oil company. I'm talking about all the oil companies with 3 billion liter transported annually to their blending units. So if you calculate and put this model into that scenario, there are 250, 300 crores that is saved. So these are all the things that has been thought and envisioned. And in the coming days, there's no surprise that you're going to see all these things in India. And India is going to lead the ethanol regime, no doubt about it. Okay, so thanks for HPCL for being our equity partner, and who have made all this possible. And IIT, brilliant team is involved with us. So thanks both of them. And we talk about innovation through insight, leading a collaborative era. You can see our collaborators, and definitely we are taking the nation towards freedom devoid of geopolitical clutch of the oil lobby. That's what is the the main agenda is about. Yeah. Thank you for giving this opportunity.